Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Magic Mike, and listen, my new cookbook is out, so make sure you get it. If you want to know how, just check the caption below or the description. Simple steps, follow it, and you'll have it in your email in no time. And today, I'm gonna be making one of the recipes that's on there in a chapter called Dinner for Two. And this is a perfect recipe for that special someone. It's a steak and reduced wine sauce recipe. Let's go. So the first thing I'm going to do, and this is my personal preference, is I'm going to clean it up a bit. I don't want too much fat on it, so I'm just going to remove some, especially the dry one. You know, remove it, put it aside. I won't need it for anything. So the second thing I want to do is season my steak. And remember, you don't season your steak too early, because once you apply salt on it, it starts drawing the moisture out of the steak and you end up getting a really dry steak. So you want to season it just before you put it on the pan. And I'm going to season it simply with some salt, generously on both sides, yeah? Some salt and some pepper. Just press it in. So remember to do this on both sides. And that's it, we're ready to cook. All right, so for this recipe, we are going to be using this stainless steel pan. We're not using that non-stick pan. And the reason is this one has a heavier base, so it conducts heat much better. And as usual, you have to leave your pan on so that it can get hot before you add anything. And then we're going to add our oil first. And give that a few seconds so that it can come up to heat. All right, so this is what you want. You can see, I don't know whether you can see it, but there's some smoke coming from our pan, and that means it's hot enough. So now we can lay our fillet, and always lay it away from you. And that's the noise you want to hear. If you don't hear that sizzle, it means your pan was not hot enough, right? So you won't touch it. We're gonna leave it on there for a few minutes, and then we're gonna flip it, and then we're gonna do something amazing. Again, if you want all the exact recipe details, make sure you get the cookbook. It's amazing. And after the filet, we're going to make our sauce. So our steak is cooked on one side. We're just going to flip it. And this is what you want. See that nice brown? So it's been able to develop a nice crust. So we're just going to leave it to cook the other side for a few minutes, and then we're going to baste it with some butter and some garlic. So our meat is cooked on the other side as well. We're going to use a technique that restaurants use to just add flavor to their food. And so we're going to add 2 chunks of butter and some garlic. We're going to crush this garlic. Add our garlic. Basting is simple. And what you want to do is push your meat to one end of the pan and then tilt your pan. And then just take some of that oil and pour it over your steak. So the mixture of garlic and butter is going to add so much flavor onto this meat. It's going to be incredible. Just do this for a minute or so, and you'll be good to go. Our steak is ready. So we'll remove it from the pan and let it rest. So once your steak is cooked, you don't want to cut into it immediately, because what will happen is immediately you cut into it, it's going to start losing all those juices and all your flavor is going to be it's going to be out on the floor. So we're going to make our wine sauce. And the first thing I'm going, so all this is flavor. Don't throw this away, right? If you don't want too much oil, you can use a spoon and reduce it, because this is butter. It's not burnt because we didn't add it too early. So I'm just going to reduce a bit of it. So all this is flavor. Don't throw that away. We're going to remove our garlic. I don't need it. So for the wine sauce, first thing you add is your onion. And we're going to let that onion cook until it softens. I love this pink spatula. It's my favorite. Don't judge me. It's pink, I know. So you don't burn your onions. You might want to reduce your heat. I had done that before. And I know your pan might look dirty now, but it's not that, trust me. This is loads and loads of flavor. And once our onion is cooked, we're going to add our wine. So what that wine is going to do, it's that it's going to deglaze your pan. So all that dirt, well, you call it dirt, I call it flavor, that was at the bottom is going to be cleaned up. And if I can tilt it, you can see. So all that flavor has been cleaned up. And you just have some amazing, amazing goodness. And don't worry, if you're worried about alcohol, don't worry about it. Alcohol burns, it evaporates when heat is applied. And so all the alcohol in the wine is going to evaporate, and all you're going to be left with is some fruit flavor, which is really good. You're going to enjoy this. And you'll just leave that to reduce for a while. So our wine has reduced enough, and I'm going to add some dhania, just for flavor. And then I'm going to season it with just a bit of pepper, not too much. This is optional. You can do it if you want. And then finally, just so that we can make it a bit thick, we're going to add some cream. And this is just regular cooking cream. And we're going to let that come up to our boil. And it's going to be ready. As our meat was resting, yeah, it has all these juices. As our meat was resting, all these juices came out of it, and so we're not going to waste that. We're going to return that into our sauce. No wasting. We don't waste flavor here. Right? Give it a quick stir, and our sauce is ready. Let's plate this meal. I transferred my sauce into this small jug. I don't know what you call this. Just so that it's easy to pour. And we're going to slice our fillet at an angle. I mean, just look at that, man. And this is what I was talking about when I say you don't want to lose your juices, because it's nice and juicy. And it's a bit pinkish in the middle. And for those guys who fear that this is not blood, right? So fear not. I think that's enough slices. We're just gonna lay that and space it out a bit on your plate, and then we're gonna pour our sauce around it. And that's that.